I got a call in 2000 from residents of Pilgrim Terrace. They had tracked me down as a result of an article in the Independent newspaper when my wife and I were nominated as local heroes. I was a certified management agent for HUD at the time. They were in a lot of trouble, very unhappy, had gone through several management companies. So I drove through the property. The property was in disarray. 20 years of deferred maintenance, potholes in the street, 2x2 pavers trying to be negotiated by walkers and wheelchairs. Instead of handicap accessibility ramps, they were wooden ramps, and they were rotting. It was a real unhappy place. I decided to take it on because they needed my help. We started fixing the physical aspect of the property because the emotional aspect and the social aspect was not repairable until I felt that they had a place that they could be proud to live in. Thankfully, the city of Santa Barbara agreed with me, and they gave us the single largest grant in the history of Santa Barbara to a single property of $750,000. So with the $750,000, we raised the elevation of the property by an average of 3 feet. We put in sidewalks where there were 2x2 pavers before. We eliminated every barrier, every step to every unit. Our residents that were in wheelchairs could actually visit their neighbors and knock on the front door. So that helped a lot with the emotional aspect, but there was much more to be done. After the physical aspect of the property was taken care of, I started noticing the meals. The meals that they were receiving were in plastic containers. The plastic containers have to be wrapped, which I find distasteful, to say the least. And this is not a result of a deficiency in the actual agency that we're supplying the meals. It's because of our California regulations, and it makes it very difficult to get good food to people without the proper permits. We only need one nutritional meal a day when we get over 65. And that one nutritional meal a day, though, is tantamount to our health. So after noticing the status quo in Santa Barbara and not being satisfied with that, I wanted something better for my residents. When I first saw vertical tower farms at Epcot Center in Disneyland, I realized there was a way that we could grow our own food and I could supply the nutritional value that was missing in affordable housing. So I first started about salad bars. If I could get a salad bar and grow our own food and give this nutritionally rich produce to the residents, that would help in some way. One thing led to another. I went to see a tower garden here in town. I went to the board of directors, we had the money, and literally I bought the farm and survived. At the end of our HAP contract, which is called a HUD-assisted payment, we actually sold the property and received the proceeds of sale, which enabled us to put another $5.2 million into the property. The meal program is the most important part of what we've done in our model. The meal program is served from 11:30 to 2:30. All 90 of our residents eat for free. We are becoming the place to be. We have a suggested donation of $5. This helps my residents because it stimulates them as well. And they meet new people every day, and they've made friends that come there to eat and have lunch and break bread with the Pilgrim Terrace residents. And after all, that's the most important thing, isn't it? We started the farm with 3 towers. That expanded to 28 towers. Now we have almost 200 towers, and we're serving 32,000 meals every single year. Even more important than the meals themselves is the change in my residents. The lower blood pressures, the lower sugar levels, the 34% less calls to service, and their attitudes. They are happy. They're healthy, they have a sense of community, they have a sense of worth, and they're getting one nutritional meal a day. They don't just come for lunch anymore. They come for the day, and they sit there and talk and laugh. Pilgrim Terrace today is an epiphany. Everyone that walks onto the site now, they see the love that we have for our residents. They see that the residents are our most important mission, that they're well taken care of, that they're well fed, that they're active, that they participate in their community. You need to come and meet our residents because they're living proof of a working model.
I think the meal program at Pilgrim Terrace is great.
This is quite a treat to have the lunches here. They're beautiful, they are healthy, they're good.
And available without charge to the residents. Amazing.
It's nourishing.
We have fresh fruits and vegetables and everything growing right here.
And then we also have people that come in, that only pays $5 to eat, that doesn't live here.
And whenever my family come, first thing I take them there, and then I say, and there's more in there.
And then they also give us, some free vegetables for ourselves to take home. So it's just really nice. It's just a blessing to be here.
I feel spoiled, personally. Yeah, we are very fortunate.
Residents benefit nutritionally from the meals because a lot of them won't cook if they're in their own units. They tend to eat really fast food or not eat at all sometimes. And so they not only benefit from the nutritional value of having meals prepared with fresh, beautiful, delicious produce that's grown in our tower gardens, but also from the social aspect of coming to the center and interacting with other residents and with guests that come. I think especially since the meal program has started, I've seen less conflicts between residents, which used to be pretty common, and we've seen some real turnover in residents that used to be very angry and really disheveled in their appearance. And now they're just really much more put together, and everyone's just been really cordial and friendly to each other. Working at Pilgrim Terrace is just really gratifying. It's nice to make changes in people's lives on a daily basis. Since I've been here the last few years, it's just transitioned into this amazing, vibrant, beautiful place where seniors can come and have a fulfilled life.
I've always looked at senior citizens as an asset to our society. And too often we put our moms and dads away and we warehouse them to die. And I never agreed with that, always in my heart to do something better. These are our mothers and fathers, our grandmothers and grandfathers. The fact that life has put them in a position where they can't pay for these kind of things doesn't mean that they're not entitled to them. I got started doing this for one reason, and it was something that happened to me in my life that started me on this path. And I had befriended a businessman in Japan, and he owns Pre-Ski. His name was Terrace Jackson. When I visited Terrace in Japan, I went to the top floor of this high-rise in Tokyo, which was his, and I noticed that there was cubicles in the center, cubicles in another row, and then cubicles that lined the entire top floor at the windows. And at the windows, I saw senior citizens sitting at every one of those cubicles in the perimeter of the building. And I asked Tessie, what were they there for? And he simply said, we don't retire people. We utilize their experience and knowledge. And when I have a problem with one of my new people that are in the inner circle, they go to the outer window watchers, and that's what I call them, window watchers, and they help solve that problem. That's what we need to do in this country, is to tap into the resources, the knowledge, and the wisdom of our senior population. Make them feel worthwhile, because they are. They are worthwhile. And that's my dream, is to make them more important, to give them a feeling of self-worth so they can help our kids and our children and help us to be better parents.
The process starts with our seedlings. Plants will remain in the seedling stage for anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks before they become more mature plants and are ready for transplant or harvest. The towers are vertical hydroponic systems that are on a 20-gallon reservoir with a submersible pump. It's a soilless system, so the roots are suspended in air inside of the tower. So there's no sort of medium or substrate inside of the actual physical tower. So we supplement and add the nutrients to the system. It's a modular system, so it can be adjusted from 20 to 44 growing slots. So on average, that produces between 40 and 44 heads of lettuce from start to finish, it's anywhere from 5 to 8 weeks. So the largest benefit to this system and systems like it are its water conservation and space conservation. So living in an urban drought-stricken environment, I think it's more imperative than ever that new and innovative ways are found to produce food a little bit closer to home. So typically we use about 10% of the space that a farm our size would use to produce in a conventional method. Water saving averages, from 40 to 70% less water than our conventional counterparts. So our farm team is comprised of mission-driven people who are passionate about farming and serving our community.
We have a CSA program, which is a community-supported agricultural program, where we actually enlist the help of members who are restaurants in our area. Their membership is predicated on the amount of money that they spend already in their produce needs. In return, they get rich, locally grown produce, and we use that money to pay for our program and to sustain our nonprofit.
We deliver 3 times a week. So every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we start at 7 a.m. and we begin by harvesting and distributing to our members based on their needs and expenditures. Because of the hydroponic technology that we're using, all produce is delivered living. It can remain living for a week or more. So instead of processing or using any single-use packaging, we actually deliver a living produce to their site in reusable bins. Typically, all surpluses are distributed amongst our CSA members or donated to other nonprofits in the Santa Barbara area. We do work very closely with one nonprofit organization called Veggie Rescue, and their whole model is about rescuing food that would otherwise go to waste, so they glean from other farms, and we try to support them with donations of greens.
A lot of people now call it the Terrace, which is the foundation that we formed in order to give back to the community. So we have an inward nonprofit, which is our model, but an outward-faced foundation that wants to help the rest of the community and help other nonprofits. We realize that there's a funding deficiency in nonprofits now, and that the larger foundations are giving less money because they're making less money. We need to be, as nonprofits, entrepreneurs. We need to be self-sustainable and as close to self-sustainable as we can.
One of the goals of the Terrace Foundation is to increase the availability of food in at-need communities. One way we're doing that is by granting remote farms and training these communities on how to best utilize and produce their own food on site.
When we offered to duplicate our model at the Mental Wellness Center, our team of gardeners went over there every single week and trained them and helped them grow and helped them harvest. They adopted the gardens as their own. They took them on as their own. They were there for every training. The commitment by the staff and the management staff was unparalleled. And where they once gathered around to puff on cigarettes and smoke, now they gather around the towers just to watch it grow. It was absolutely phenomenal. It was so well accepted and so well managed by the staff at Mental Wellness Center that we actually awarded the towers to them because they are utilizing every single plant that they grow. So this is the benefit and the happiness that we get from a working model that we actually were responsible for.
Working with the team at the Pilgrim Terrace flagship farm has been an amazing experience for our staff and our kitchen. Every day we feed between 70 and 80 people at the Fellowship Club. We feed a warm, nutritious lunch. And with the fresh produce and the herbs and the vegetables that we harvest, we're able to supplement the food that we get from the food bank, and the kitchen has so much more flavor and nutrition to feed our clients.
So any organization that is interested in duplicating our model, we supply the complete expertise on how to set up the farm, how to maintain the farm, what to do during the course of an average 6-month period. So for 6 months, we give you all the technical assistance you need, and it's hands-on. We actually come to your location. We help you take care of the farms. We train you every single step of the way. When you have your first harvest, we supply the seedlings to replace for a new harvest. So what we do is rotate those harvests. So we rotate it 3, 3, and 3, and we leave one tower for you to have fun with. So the 3 towers will be always harvesting, growing, and planting. As you plant, you need to get the seedlings from us, which is part of your membership. What we're trying to do is form an umbrella, a collective body of people of like minds who realize how important our mission is and our movement. Those people are our members. We become a family that have tower farms that create nutritional food for people in need. Children are the gateway to the future. We all know that. And if you teach a child about nature, you teach them to nurture. When you teach them to nurture, it appeals to our better nature. We've run over 1,000 children through our tower garden. We've worked closely with La Cumbra Middle School. We've run, I'd say 700 of those students came through our garden already, and they're still coming every single day. They're learning about growing. They're learning about harvesting. They're learning about sharing. There are curriculums already written and available through us on math, weights and measures, geography, geometry. All of these things can be taught through the towers, along with horticulture and how to grow your own food. When the children see the tower gardens and visit the tower garden, it's like a new world to them. They're excited. I see a sense of joy. And there's always something about children, because I'm kind of a kid myself. I loved it when I knew something that my parents didn't know. That's an amazing thing to give to a child. So what happens is, when they grow something, they eat it. When they eat it, they want to share. They want to say, look what I've done, look what I've learned. It gives them a sense of pride. And they tell their grandmothers and their mothers and fathers about it. In the poorest city, a part of Bronx, they started this program with children, the aeroponic gardens. The children started growing. They had a 40% success rate when they started 5 years ago. Now 5 years later, 5 short years later, you have those students in 20 different countries teaching other children how to grow food. One of my experiences with the Turner Foundation, they were giving a Christmas dinner. So what we did is we donated 5 towers specifically for the purpose of growing the vegetables and the greens that they would be serving at the dinner. And the kids actually got to plant. They actually got to nurture. Every Friday they would come and take care of the plants, make sure that they were growing properly, make sure there was no problems. And then at the harvest, it was absolutely amazing. So they got to harvest what they planted. They saw the results of what they were doing, and then they got to serve it to their mothers and fathers for Christmas dinner. It was absolutely amazing.
The Santa Barbara area ranks 47th out of the 58 counties in the state of California in terms of food insecurity.
47th out of 58 counties. And we're one of the richest counties in California. Our deficiency right now is 53% in the Latino population. Children under 15 are obese or they're pre-diabetic. That's not acceptable. If you look at the underserved population, 65% of them are food insecure. 35 to 85% of our senior citizens are suffering from malnutrition, and that's even in limited care facilities. Too long, we have cut services to the most vulnerable in our society, and there's no excuse in this town to do that. No one in Santa Barbara should be hungry. No one should be suffering from malnutrition. And not just in Santa Barbara, but all over California, all over the United States. In fact, worldwide, in 30 years, if we don't triple our food output, then we're going to have a famine the world has never known before. We're facing a water shortage. That's no secret in Santa Barbara alone. We know about droughts, don't we? Water managers in 40 out of 50 states have reported water shortages as early as 2023. By the year 2025, over 5 billion people will have limited access to water. We cannot feed the people we need to feed by practicing the same methods of farming that we do now. We feed our plants. We create it in the environment where the roots are rained upon every 15 minutes. That's why they flourish. That's why they grow from seedling to harvest in 5 short weeks. It's an easier, more efficient way to grow food, It's the nutritional values are higher. That means abundance. That's what we need to do, is create abundance in our food supply and let people take control of their own food supply rather than having to depend on another location to get it. Even the grocery stores, hard to get to. Some people can't afford the grocery store. Where do they get their produce? We need to bring it to them. We need to teach them how to grow their own food. We take it one step further and we institute this program in schools, in churches, in hospitals, and in affordable housing properties. By doing that, we'll save money in the long run. $51 billion a year is spent on needless hospital visits. Let's start making this difference. And the reason I'm excited is because Santa Barbara has the community heart and the fortitude this takes to see this through and to call everyone to action. We need your help. People that don't know where their next meal is coming from, people that are suffering from malnutrition, people who are being mistreated in so many ways and ignored in our society. We grow hope.